Welcome to the FrequentSEE Network. Frequent, capital S, capital E, self-empowering experts giving you a self-empowering experience, sharing authentic connections about sound, light, energy, frequency, vibration, and most of all, love. There is nothing more authentic than being the love that you are. We are 4 generations of women empowering you to love your life even more. Here we flow.
Today, we're going to be talking about some of the past frequencies of February and what are the experiences that we've been given, and then how we move through them. And then we're going to do the frequency forecast for March so we can prepare you for what's to come, so you can feel within your own body, heart, and soul what is calling out to you to make the changes necessary to empower yourself for an even better experience in life. So today, let's get started. And we're going to start out with Kristen because she is our frequency forecaster. She's just got this frequency going on to share that with us. So what do you think, Kristen? How was February for you, and what were we seeing happening with all the what we were talking about before we got on here was some planetary alignments. There was some, sun things going on, as well as a solar eclipse. Yeah, I think it was a solar, right? Gosh, just a lot of different energies, a lot of different frequencies happening. And so we're going to roll back a little bit for February and see what the experiences have been. So what do you think, Kristen?
Yeah, February had a lot of celestial movement, and I think it's based on an individual level of how it's showing up for each one of us, what it's bringing to surface. And that's probably one of the most important things, is to just be awareness in your body, feel what's coming online, and have the tools to transform it or to balance it out. I was just speaking with one of my kids earlier on in this week, and it really is the dose that makes the poison, the dose that is the medicine. I like to use conscious language, speaking life. So the dose makes the medicine, and balance is what we are looking for. Our body is constantly creating homeostasis, and we, through our awareness, can also help it achieve that through understanding what's coming online, our nutrition, movement, thoughts, words, all of those things that we speak about here. So for February, there's certain things that are in stress, especially dealing with metabolism. So weight stuff can be really big for people. The frustration of gaining weight, all those ghrelin and leptin, all of those metabolic hormones are in stress and coming online. So how can we choose to transform that or stay in balance for ourselves when those are in stress like that? Well, I think it's so beautiful that it's the month of love, right? February is the month of love. So adding in and really feeling love as the motion and movement to keep our system in flow. Let's see, other certain muscles that were in stress this past February, our jaw really in coming online, especially right now. And I did lead a group of individuals with gentle movement through fascia maneuvers, and just releasing the jaw muscle, the masseter, creates flow for being able to express. I feel like you can express. So if those are in stress, you might be feeling things come up online of, oh, I've been chewing on this issue for so long, and I really want to get it out, maybe feeling frustration, anger, resentment, all those things, because that's associated with our master and jaw. And being able to speak the conscious language reversals, meaning I believe I can fully express myself. I give myself permission to express what I feel and what I think. I love expressing myself. I receive only expressions of love. We can use conscious language and as well as gentle movement. So releasing fascia. And that's what we're up with right now. Has anybody been feeling those feelings of just requiring to express themselves in a brand new way?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What was interesting is that you brought up, metabolism and how it's kind of that shifting from, hanging on to some weight as we're coming into the cold months, right? And then we're going to be shifting out back into spring. And I definitely have been going through that as well, of talking about the jaw and, the fascial, the face. We're talking about facial, and then we have the fascia. And I've been learning something brand new too about fascia and the face and huge parts of the body through I have 3 different courses I'm taking, one with water and learning through that course and, my advanced frequency medicine, that the fascia is the irrigator of our cells. It irrigates. So that I found, very, very interesting, because I hadn't had that a concept with how our water works within our body, and why, the fascia is such an emotional release when we actually let it go. So it is the waters, that are doing it. And then of course, what cleanses out once it gets irrigated is your lymph, your immune system. And I'm taking care of a puppy dog here, as you could hear him. So so I find it interesting, because the class I'm also working with is around called mewing, and Dr. Mewing. And then I worked with a gentleman named, he started a community called, well, it's Oscar Patel, and he teaches about thumb pulling, the tongue position, and how that has everything to do with our fascia throughout our whole body. And that's one of his specialties, is around the fascial layer of our body and everything. And so I'm learning, not to be a mouth breather, and to really focus on having that tongue on the roof of the mouth, and releasing, the jaw, and releasing all of that to make room for us to even breathe better, and everything else. So hearing that in February, and about the love, I think about February in, kisses and hugs, and, being, close to the face, and things like that. So I'm feeling that component, and love transforming consciousness, taking us out of those old places, and moving into being brand new. And that's what I've been feeling since, it is my birthday month. And I feel that new birthing happening, and feeling brand new. And I think, yeah, that's, and being able to speak my truth, and and all those kind of things. So I'm going to put that out there. I that's kind of what I've been feeling throughout the month of February. So what do you think, Mia?
I like it. I'm still learning a lot about the fascia when you guys are explaining so much, so that's fun. I was feeling my love definitely coming back online in February. I was just feeling excited again, and finding, like, rediscovering old passions, and coming up with new things to like, and ways to love myself and express myself. So definitely for me, I like the springtime. My birthday's in March, so I always feel like I feel newer in this time, but definitely this February was just like a lot warmer than closing out the end of the year. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, well, next is Josie James. Josie, how are you, my dear?
I'm good. I'm so much better. All the things and words that were brought up, nutrition, jaw, Um, it's all about renewal in so many ways, and being in the position to look at that renewal as a change for the good, not something that we dread. It's new, brand new and exciting. The nutrition part is so much more interesting because it looks like, from what we hear, that the nutritional values are being rewritten, I guess, with the experts on what it is we need, what is it that does the most, and what's the preparation, and how much aware are we in what we're putting into our bodies, and how the news that we're receiving, is that really true? Has it been verified? For instance, prepared foods. Everything comes to us in a box, and naturally it has to be prepared, and that's really getting a lot of attention, as far as I can see. That if we choose things that the manufacturers say is good for you, quote unquote, we may be in error of it giving us much nutrition. Plus, it can cause a lot of disruption in your health system. And as far as the jaw and pain and the situations that go on with us, as far as uh, the issues that we go through with our bodies, what happens and why did it happen, and how can we get a solution for that. I had a grandmother that died when she was 87, but all of my life she traveled from one children to the other to stay for a few weeks. And she had the TMJ. We had no name for it at that time, and nothing to do for it. And she sat in a chair most of the time. She crocheted and did her handwork. But then all of a sudden she would put down her handiwork, and she would grab her jaw, and you could see it pulsating, and she was almost like she was going to come out of her chair. It was such strong pulsations, and really felt sorry for her then. But of course, I had no idea what it might be, what it might cause it. How can we help? We didn't have that much information in those days. And then, as far as the information that we get right now on our awareness, our ability to receive information with an open, clear mind, and being able to maybe do research, whatever it takes, to find out as much as you can whether it's true or not. And it's really gotten to be a big problem to analyze something and get the correct information, because we're privy to so much resource, so many ways that we can receive information, and it's almost like a three-wave radio station. It's sending messages out to us, and they're getting all garbled up in the atmosphere. So that's part of what I'm thinking.
Wow, Josie, that kind of wrapped a lot of things up in what Kristen brought up here in what the frequencies are. And boy, I have to say, we were talking about earlier about being wiser and younger with age. And I just hear that so much from you. You were so wise, and to have you so clear and telling the stories of your grandmother, and the experience that she had, and seeing her, noticing, from that past experiencing, noticing her pain in her jaw, and associating it with all that's going on today, to be able to do all that and be so clear. I so appreciate. I'm so glad we have you here with us, Josie.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure and blessing for sure. What else did everybody get? Now, Kristen, how about you? And since you brought on the jaw, and the jaw seems to be a big thing here too, maybe we might want to hear once. I'd love to hear about how your February has gone, and then maybe take a little bit deeper look at the jaw and its essence, what its frequency of what sacred body language translation and decrees and support that's there too. So, but yeah, I love to hear how your February has gone, and where you're expressing all that beautiful love that you are.
My February is filled with so much love coming online, and it's up to us to agree with it, yes, and receive
Yes.
fully. Our jaw has two components to it. We have our upper jaw and our lower jaw. Our upper jaw in conscious language is all about expressing what we think, our thoughts. Our lower jaw has to do with expressing how we feel. It's more of our turning inward to our body. So when those two become a conflict, our thinking and our feeling world, then we get this this tension, this conflict right here in our jaw where that meets. And so naturally, expression is health. It's a healthy way to transform, being able to express what you think and feel, whether that's, I mean, there's lots of tools. I've heard of many and been told of many. Writing it down, expressing it on paper, going out to the trees and expressing it out loud, just having the awareness of what this this stress, this conflict is happening right where your thoughts meet your feeling world in your jaw. And so the conscious language decree and upgrade here that we can speak, and just notice, relax your whole body and speak this for yourself and see if you feel any energy move. This was one of my first experiences with Bob. I was experiencing jaw pain, and it was during my birthday in May. So I'd have to look up the frequencies to see if it was online then as well. But I remember Bob facilitating me and just allowing me to speak for myself and agree with honoring and translating, transforming, reversing this for myself. And this is one of the decrees that you can speak. So notice for yourself. I honor my thoughts and feelings with ease. I honor my thoughts and feelings with ease. And as soon as I spoke that for myself, I felt energy disperse. It was so amazing. In any other modality, I have not felt to that extent of the transformation of energy as I did in that moment. And that was my first experience with being facilitated in real time. And so begin to notice what's happening for you. Did any energy disperse for you just by speaking those words? And we require to land them, be in our feeling world, our feeling body, land them, really embody the words. I honor my thoughts and feelings with ease. And what that really means, what's new and different. If you say yes to this and agree with this. And with the fascia, and I love how you say it, it's more pure sounding, like our European, would say the open ah sound. And I've heard people say it fascia, and my trainers say it fascia. So I love fascia. So to experience a fascia maneuver in your jaw and your masseter, I can cue everyone listening really quickly and notice what's happening. Notice Notice the shift there, and use conscious language while we are opening up the fascia. So on our jaw, we've got our masseter here, right under our cheekbone. The top of the masseter muscle is where we're going to be focusing on. And this is a masseter release. So with your right hand, you're going to, with the palms of your fingers, right? The pads of your fingers. We don't want to get our nails in there. You're going to place them on the top of your masseter with your fingers pointing backwards and your palms are facing towards you. So you're just going to gently place your hand on your upper masseter on your right side, and your left hand is going to be placed with your on your left top of your masseter, and your fingers are going to be pointing forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the masseter like we're pushing the masseters together and locking our fascia in place. And once it's locked, we're going to turn our fingers so they're both pointing up. You really want the main language here, especially with working with fascia, is we're pinning it. We're using spiral movements to create flow and space in there. We're even doing some electrical work with the points and getting them to dissolve any adhesions in there. So left fingers pointing forward, right fingers pointing backwards. Squeeze your masseter muscle, lock it in place. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth while you begin to twist both of your fingers up. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Turn your head to the right. Hold and release. Breathe out as you come back to center. Breathe in through your nose. Hold. Turn to the left. Release. Breathe out as you come back to center. Make sure you still have a good grip on your masseters. They're locked in place. Breathe in through your nose. Look up. Come back to center. Breathe out. And just open and close your jaw while breathing. Your breath is your pressurized system to create a pump for your fascia. You can move your head from side to side. I like to do figure eights, creating just a spiral while breathing in through your nose and out. Just very intuitive movement. And when you're ready, you're going to release your masseters and just notice how your jaw moves now. Open and close it. And while in this space, I honor my thoughts and feelings with ease. And while we are even like putting pressure and holding, pinning our fascia, you can speak the conscious language. I honor my thoughts and feelings with ease. The decree, right? Decree of creation. So I know for myself, I feel a lot more movement and relaxation come into my jaw. You can do that multiple times a day. So Cynthia.
That feels so good. Feel a light, just things lightening up, opening up, I guess I should say. And, like there's more light coming in too.
Yeah. And I love what you're learning with the fascia system and that it irrigates the cells. I truly believe it's our inner telling, our intelligent system. It has 1 billion nerve endings as opposed to our brain, which has 1 million. So it really houses most of our nerves, our nervous system. And
yes,
and our nerves are what pick up on the outside energy and bring the information in, and it travels all the way up throughout our body. There's so much to this system that when we are intentional with moving the the fourth phase of water, which is traveling inside the microtubules of the fascia system. It's so helpful and beneficial.
Yeah. That fourth phase is easy water, EZ, exclusion zone. And that is a negatively charged, water, that's a gel form. And it's so beautiful. So the waters, though, are the communication center, right? And the memory and everything. And so when I think about the fascia, right? I think about it, since it's irrigating the cells, it's irrigating, bring in, so it takes in information, right? And then is irrigating our cells with that information, that spark of stuff, of life, or, what are we irrigating our cells with that
Yes.
information? And then as we have everything moving, the lymphatic, the microcirculation and lymphatic are what actually, so the lymphatic that cleanses everything out, right? So we have things in, and then the movement of the blood and the fascial cleansing, the lymphatic cleaning out. So having movement and flow is so important.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
stagnation can just take us right out. So, and going back to love, like I always say to people, if we could be love, at peace and in love, and be the love that we are 24/7, there wouldn't be, our natural state of being is not dis-ease. Okay. It is our natural state of being is love, and everything flowing with grace and ease. Like you said, I honor my thoughts and feelings with ease. I think about the Gospel of Thomas, where there's a part in there where Jesus is asked, how do I know that the Father is within? And the answer is through movement and repose. That's being at ease and moving through life with being at peace with oneself, so that you are, one with the Creator, that we are one with all of life. And how beautiful that we flow with grace and ease, and yeah, thrive.
I'm thinking of picturing and associating that scenario and that process, to label it, and because it's sweet, a jawbreaker candy that is, we had, I don't know if they still even have them, but I had them as a child, and it is so hard that it does feel like you're breaking your jaw. But in picturing it in this instance, it is opening up the flow of energy when that jaw-breaking process is applied.
I love that. I mean, that almost reminds me of when we talk about, so jaw breaking, you're talking about breaking something down in order to build it back up again. And that's what happens to us within life, is we go through these hard times to, it's like a weight strengthening our soul. And so you bringing that in, Josie, I think it's almost like, you went through that in order to bring more balance back into your jaw. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, the process of the jaw breaking scenario is painful, and yet it's effective because it opens up the flow of energy and healing for your jaw.
Yes. So I was talking about it being like a weight strengthening our soul, so that we can move more fluidly and flow. I think we're in the same place of, yes,
wavelength.
Things down to build them up again, What you think about that?
Using a different wavelength.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we all have our thoughts and feelings and that are different, but we all come together as one as we flow together. So with that, we are going to move into of what's to come in March so that we can make some plans and see what to pay attention to, and so that we can move through the coming months with grace and ease.
We've got a few different frequency of muscles coming online. Looks like eyelids, the very first part of the March, which, to support eyes is having clarity. And so in consciousness, begin to create clarity. And with the celestial things that have been happening lately, the eclipse portal and this new energy of the fire horse, they're all great to set intention and see new things. So that's what is calling for is clarity. We've got more jaw coming online and wrist, it looks like, which has a lot to do with being flexible with what you're handling. So we have some good things to look forward to.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love all of that. Well, so I'm going to ask everyone to do takeaways, and so that we can move through and move into being brand new into our coming month of March. So, Mia, why don't you lead the way?
I'm excited about the jaw work that we did, and I have TMJ, and I grind my teeth, I clench my teeth, and now I do Invisalign to straighten my teeth, and so with the retainers, I clench them even more. And my jaw like pops really, really, really loud all the time when I open it. But after doing that, it's still popping, but it's a way quieter pop, and it's only on one side now. So I'm having like instant. So I'm gonna keep doing that. That was cool. And it's interesting that the wrist is coming online too, because I had a friend reach out to me yesterday telling me that their wrist has been bothering them and they're taking a break from yoga. So I'm excited to share with them that stuff's coming up and that's what they might be feeling. And so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm just excited to try to see myself with new eyes in March and I'm going to set a lot of intentions. So I'm excited for what's to come.
Yes, and you can use your My Word Made Flesh to share with her what wrists are all about, and the jaw, and all those wonderful things for all of us. So, Josie.
Well, I'm made aware of this newness that we're opening up as far as the way that we look at things, the way we think about things, the way we receive things. I've said this before, to pivot from that spot in the road and get ourselves in position to go in a lane that leads us to the solution of any of this issues that we've spoken, the jaw, the differences in the jaw's healthiness, I guess, and how we can open that up and make it useful rather than a detour. And if it is a detour, then we'd learn from that detour, and we're more able to function and stay in the speed of that lane.
Josie, that was a wonderful way to wrap things up. And just was going to ask Kristen now if she has any last words, and then I will wrap things up for our frequency forecast and the FrequentSEE Network podcast.
It's always just fun to play the game and stay in the game. And, use our awareness to create as much of a dosing effect that keeps us in balance and keeps us feeling in flow.
Wonderful. It kind of reminds me of there's a quote that talked about a doctor who said, increase the dose of love, just to keep, life flowing and keep yourself healthy, whole, and complete. So I love all that. And yes, we're coming down to the end of February, our heart month, our month of love, which means let's increase the dose throughout the year and throughout our lives. And that's the main thing I feel is so wonderful. And for us to take a wilderness adventure deep into our hearts and discover that we discover ourselves, first know thyself. And that's what we're here to kind of learn more about what's going on with the frequencies that are happening within our planet, and giving us ways to move through life with grace and ease. So we'll leave with that. And thank you so much for being here, and breathe deep into your hearts and love yourself even more today than you did yesterday. We love you, and thank you for joining us today.